These may just look like water bottles, but the reality is, water is a weapon of mass destruction. The global water crisis has claimed the lives of more people year in and year out than all forms of violence, including war. 4,100 children die from waterborne diseases every day, and 3.4 million people die from waterborne diseases each year. This loss of human life is unimaginable. This is a war on humanity. And today, we say no more. This ends now. Today, we are formally declaring war on the water crisis.
I feel like when we're all little, we ask ourselves the question, how am I going to change the world? And I always thought that mine was going to be saving lives. And I always thought that the only way to do that was like becoming a doctor. Like that's the first thing I think of. Or like
my name is Kristen de Guzman, and I didn't always give speeches like this. In fact, the first time I heard about Thirst Project, I was the one sitting in the chair. When I was 16 years old, a couple of speakers came to my school to talk to us about the water crisis. I listened to story after story of people who didn't have access to something I took for granted every day: safe, clean drinking water. I had to do something, so I created a local Thirst Project club at my school, and over the next year, we started fundraising like crazy. We designed and sold a t-shirt. We held a walk for water carrying full jerry cans 3 miles down the Vegas Strip. We held a contest where I got pied in the face. And we got a couple teachers to do it too. I was so obsessed. I even decaled the link to our fundraising page onto my car. And after 9 months of making posters, writing speeches, and begging neighbors for $1 more, we had raised enough money to fund a well in Swaziland. And if I'd stopped there, it would have still been one of the proudest achievements of my life. But when Thirst Project asked me to go to Swaziland to actually see the impact of the well we'd funded, I knew I had to do it. So I made arguably one of the crazier decisions of my life, packed my bags, and booked a plane ticket to Swaziland. Swaziland is a tiny country of about 1.3 million people that sits on the northern border of South Africa. It's home to a lot of wildlife reserves and has a rich culture, but it's unfortunately best known as the country with the single highest HIV/AIDS rate in the world. 26% of people between the ages of 15 to 49 test positive for HIV. This is a big reason why Thirst Project concentrates its efforts here. Water plays a huge role in effectively treating and managing HIV/AIDS. Because even if you have access to great medical treatment or health clinics, but still drink from contaminated water sources, your immune system is already so compromised that the diseases in the water you drink will often kill you faster than your AIDS will. Once I landed in Swaziland, I was met by the Thirst Project country director, Sibusiso Shiba. He's the sweetest man in the world, also super goofy.
It is nice to be here. See that? That's a mountain. See that? Those are homesteads. Oh, it is nice to be here. Sing it with me, please.
Sibu took me to see a couple different water sources that communities were drinking from. This was the first time I saw water that was visibly contaminated.
Kristen, right here we were standing. It is an earth dam that serves the entire Timbutini community. The reason why the water is
so brown,
it is because all sorts of dirty things are brought here. The rainwater flows from all directions, even from the homesteads. It carries a lot of dirty things. It could be human waste, animal waste. All those remains, they may come here. As we were standing here, we have seen some animals coming to drink here.
Like cattle?
Yes, the cattle. They don't actually drink only. They also defecate and urinate in the water.
There's literally poop like everywhere.
Exactly.
Like right there.
Oh, yes.
Like right there.
Yeah. So these marks are still as new as today.
Oftentimes, people are forced to collect water from contaminated streams, mud puddles, rivers, or earth dams. Drought has made it almost impossible to collect water. And as a result, people find themselves drinking water that you and I would never even step in, let alone drink. People have to rely on open, unprotected water sources shared with animals to meet their daily needs. The impact of this can be devastating. The well we funded was in the small, rural community of Mgamude. It wasn't scheduled to be finished until the end of the week, so until then, I wanted to meet some of the people in the community who were living through the water crisis.
Just call you happiness?
Happiness.
Happiness.
Because they bring a happiness to my family when I come back. When my mother gave birth, it was a
Really?
happiness. This is my room.
Very cool.
Here is where we
Yeah.
put everything.
Can I see what you have?
You can see it. Is it sweet
Yeah.
potato?
Yams.
Sweet potato.
potato.
Yes.
Those are my favorite. So how do you open this?
You can open it.
From the side? Do you grow anything?
We don't because of the shortage of water.
Oh, right, because the
Yes.
drought.
We usually grow spinach, lettuce, carrot. But because of the shortage of water, we just stop. Yes, because we are no longer get water where we can get water.
You can't not smile when you're with Happiness. She's amazing. But as we walked around her house and talked about how much of her daily life revolved around water, it was kind of crazy.
So how long have you had the toilet?
The toilet. It's 1 year.
Where's your old toilet before you got this?
What toilet? The forest.
Oh, the forest. Okay. Did you ever get sick from going like open?
Some, they get sick because of
Because it's open.
yes, yes, the flies.
Water is only effective in reducing disease when paired with sanitation and hygiene. This practice of open defecation is common in rural communities in the developing world. Lack of access to pit latrines or toilets allows diseases to spread easily through a community and causes huge health problems.
I buy them.
Wow, you have a lot. Yeah.
I buy them because I use them. Let me show you how to carry it.
Yes, please.
Okay, I can take this one. You have to fasten it. And then you take it and you place it here. Because to gain balance. And then you take it. You gain balance.
On your head.
Yes.
I'm gonna put one on. You gonna help me?
Eh,
Okay, I'm gonna do this one. So
yes.
put it like this.
You will just put it in your shoulder.
Like this.
Yes.
Like this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard to walk.
You just walk.
Just keep going.
Yes.
Keep going.
You can talk. You can dance.
For most of us, collecting water is about as complicated as walking to the fridge or turning on the sink. But if you were born in Happiness's village, you'd have to carry a 5-gallon container that weighs almost 45 pounds when full, nearly 4 miles round trip. Women, or more often children, are tasked with transporting water, which can take anywhere from 6 to 8 hours each day. This means that many kids can't go to school or get an education, and women can't get jobs to provide for their families. Instead, they're left to collect and haul a few gallons of dirty, contaminated water. But the cost of these daily trips isn't just measured in time. The weight, the distance, the heat can all cause serious medical conditions like spontaneous miscarriages or spinal and pelvic deformities, all a result of collecting and carrying water. Just next door to Happiness lives a young girl named Spipile. She's 17 years old, likes to play soccer, and really likes this one Beyoncé song.
When Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. Mommy.
She's also responsible for collecting water for her family. She let me join her on her daily walk.
How long does it take for you to walk for the water?
4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah, like this. And when I feel like I'm tired, I put it down and rest and take it again and walk
Yeah.
to home.
Do you do it like every day or?
Yes, every day. Sometimes I can't study because of I have to go to the river.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
wet.
yeah.
I can't imagine missing school just because I had to collect water. When we finally arrived at the water source, it wasn't the river I'd expected. Really, it was just a small hole in the ground.
This is where we get water. It's dirty.
Spipile told me one of her family members had gotten sick from drinking from this water source.
The little boy Gupa.
Your
Yes.
cousin, right?
Yeah, my cousin. When we fetch water there and we didn't boil it and he drink it. After that, he tells us he feel pain on the womb. We ask him what's wrong. He said, I drink that water you fetch on the river. The next day, he peed a blood. And I tell my grandmother, and my grandmother tell me that maybe it's that water he drank.
Contaminated water can carry so many different diseases. Spipile's cousin, Kupa, had gotten a parasite called schistosomiasis. It's usually contracted by drinking, washing, or swimming in contaminated water. Schistosomiasis creates open sores all over your body and causes you to urinate blood. It's incredibly painful and increases the risk of contracting sexually transmitted infections. Back in Mgamude, Spipile's grandmother offered to show me the process that she uses to try to purify their water. In Swaziland, grandmothers are called gokos.
Now we are taking it to the fire. Let's hold together and pour the water.
A lot of people think that boiling or filtering water is a solution to this crisis. But with water this dirty, it doesn't always work. Many parasites and bacteria can survive even in boiling water.
angcolile angeke size siwaphuze manje. Angcola kakhulu athatha isikhathi eside kusasa.
For Goko and the people of Mgamude, they don't really have a choice, so they still drink this dirty water. Sibu and I went to the local health clinic that serves the community of Mgamude, and I had a chance to sit down with a local nurse to learn more about the impact of waterborne diseases on health and sanitation.
What are the most common waterborne diseases that you see in the clinic?
Cholera cases, any diarrhea diseases, typhoid, and blood diarrhea.
Are people dying from diarrhea? Is it dangerous?
They usually exhausted the body fluids. The diarrhea affects the body fluids and the patient eventually dies. But if the
It's kind of hard to believe, but diarrhea actually kills more children every year than AIDS and malaria combined. In fact, millions of people every year must be treated for easily preventable diseases like diarrhea, dysentery, or cholera.
when they drink contaminated water, chances of getting cholera they are very high. It is very dangerous. It drains the body fluids. So once the body system is disturbed, the patient dies.
Cholera affects an estimated 3 to 5 million people worldwide, and during an outbreak, death tolls can skyrocket. With no access to safe, clean water, the community of Mgamude was especially vulnerable to cholera.
I suffered from cholera, but I don't know what it was cholera. In the midnight, I feel like I should go and to vomit. And I vomit, then I came back to sleep. After that, I should come again to vomit. I should run to the toilet. There is a running stomach, you see. And then I call my auntie. They come and they call a for hire to take me to the Matanjin hospital. Is where they found that I have suffered from cholera. And they tell me what cholera is caused by dirty water that I'm drinking. I say, we fetch water, but it's not clean.
It's dirty.
It's dirty. But we try to make it clean, but it's because it's dirty. And sometimes we have not the agent to clean the water. We sometimes drink like that.
Did you have to stay in the hospital?
I stayed 2 days. Then
2 days.
They released me. Yes, but when I came back home, I sleep under that tree.
Under the tree?
Yes.
Why'd you do that?
I have no energy.
I have no energy.
Yes,
to get back
I
in.
want fresh air. Yes, because I feel cold. I have that fever. I don't know what I should say about that disease, because it's very, very serious.
Very serious.
You can die if you take it easy.
Do you know anyone else in Mgamute that had cholera too?
It's my little sister, she died. It's very painful because I lost my sister that I love very much. Yes, because of that disease. It started him late noon, but we take it easy that maybe it's something that he will pass. Yes.
I'm so sorry.
But when he eventually reached to the hospital, she already died. Yes.
Happiness's story isn't just tragic, it's tragically common. Nearly 3.5 million people die of waterborne diseases each year, most of them children, and it's all completely preventable. Cholera, diarrhea, schistosomiasis, they're all caused by the same thing, and they all share the same solution: clean drinking water. After a week in Mgamude, meeting the people and hearing their stories, the well was finally almost complete. Everyone I had met throughout the week was there to lend a hand. Spapile, Coco, Happiness. Happiness was ready to put me to work, and also explain some of the finer points of WWE wrestling.
I am coming with Bram.
Show me. Oh.
This day was all about celebration. The community prepared a meal for us, and they gave me my first experience eating goat. It was actually really good. It was a party, complete with singing and dancing. But the highlight for me was Coco.
Grandma says the water is life. Water is life.
No.
Love you, Coco.
Put your hands.
Ngithanda nami ngithanda kakhulu.
Also love you.
Aww.
Mnandi.
He says it is nice to have water because water is life.
Life.
Without
That's what I
water, there is no life.
Without water, there is no life.
Yes.
How is this going to change your life, Happiness?
Completely.
Yeah.
We have now we can suffer from other diseases, but not from this
from water.
illness I have. You see, because we have water, we have clean water, clean.
Hey,
Clean
hey,
water,
hey,
not
hey.
just water.
Hey.
Clean water.
Finally, it was time. The finishing touches were added and the well was complete. One of the community leaders asked if I wanted to pump it.
Can see. Shedding tears of
happy.
joy. That's great. Yes.
When my school first started working with Thirst Project, I had no idea where the journey would take me. That I would find myself thousands of miles from home, surrounded by new friends and forever changed. The community of Mgamude now has clean water for life. Spapile will never have to walk 4 hours to fetch water. Kupa will never have to worry about schistosomiasis. And happiness will never lose another person she loves to cholera. But there are still over 600 million people who don't have access to safe, clean drinking water. I was always told that once I was a little older, once I'd gone to college, once I had a little more money, then I could make a difference in the world. But what I learned in Swaziland was that the world can't afford for us to wait. We are declaring war on the water crisis. We will be the generation to finally push this genocide into the history books. We have so much work to do and we need you. Water is a human right. Join the fight.